Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Soo, your 2022 Oakland mayoral candidate. Did you know I'm the only candidate running for Oakland mayor that is 100% off-grid energy? I am not dependent on PG&E electricity. I don't run a generator, a gas generator, or a diesel generator. All my energy is created daily by the sun and stored in a battery. So I'm going to give you an update on what's transpired in the past year and what I'm able to do right now. So I'm going to turn this around and we'll be right back. Okay, here's two of my MPPT controllers, which is maximum PowerPoint tracking. And so it puts out to the battery maximum conversion from solar energy to 12 volt DC energy. And you can see the numbers going right now. That's what the system is using at the moment. And then this is a dual voltage system. I have a high voltage for running household appliances like the microwave, oven, my air fryer, and refrigerators and other things you'll see. And then off to the left, you see the fuse box there. That operates these lights, these LED lights, and they're dimmable. And so I'll show you, bring it up, and then I can bring it way down. So dimmable lights on the 12 volt system. So it's kind of like having a motor home or a motor yacht where you have dual voltages on board. And so this is another example of that. And then all of that energy conversion goes down to this battery, and then from the battery you see all the connections, and then we have the power inverter, which converts the DC electricity into AC household electricity and current. And so that's what powers everything. And one of the nice things about this is that I am architect doing an electrical architecture of 12 volt system to 120 volt systems for your home. And these MPPT controllers, we can have up to 6 of them on a battery, a couple of batteries. In fact, we're going to have up to 4 new lithium ion battery packs. So that will be 1 kilowatt hour that we will have in energy storage, whereas this right here is only 660 watts for 1 hour. So significant difference in the battery, but we're almost maxed out on the second MPPT controller. And then what we're going to be ordering next is the next step up, which is 100 amps. And each of these are 60 amp output. So that's 120 amps at 12 volt DC that goes into that battery, or those connections right there, which also feed the inverter. And so we're going to be adding 2 100 amp MPPT controllers. So that's an additional 2,400 watts of energy going in. So what we'll have is just short of 4,000 watts of DC energy going in to the battery. But then when we run the microwave and other things, we need that energy because that's 4,000 watt power inverter right there. So that means we need to have more than 4,000 watts of input. And when we're done with the architecture, there's going to be 3 of these pure sine wave inverters that will convert DC energy into up to 100 amps of AC current for the house. And we're going to be including the proper household distribution box for 120 volt AC, but then you'll be able to watch us grow as things move on. But we're going to be adding 2 more of the MPPTs, and we're going to be adding 2 more of the inverters, and then we're going to be changing from a wet cell battery to dry cell lithium ion, and that's going to give us significantly more battery storage. So we're going to go outside. I'm going to show you the solar panels. Okay, here's 2 of 3 panels. I have a third on order right now. These are 240 watt panels, and so all 3, that will give me 720 watts of solar energy going into the MPPT. That maxes out the second MPPT controller, and so that's why we're going to be moving up to the 100 amp models. And then this big frame that you're starting to see take place here, this is going to be the roof area, and we're going to be putting 6 additional 210 watt PV solar panels onto this roof. And then this is the roof portion that's going to be enclosed, and so all those electronics that you saw just a moment ago is going to move into a cabin, because there's a lot of noise that's generated with the cooling fans on the MPPT controllers, and then you also have fans on the inverter. So there's a lot of noise that is made because of heat, and I have to separate that out because I can't run at night, so to speak, because the inverter would be cycling in and out of work and duty, and so need to be able to separate out that whiny cooling fan, and so that's why I'm building a separate enclosure just for all the electronics, and then properly distribute that with standard code compliant household 120 wiring with Romex, and then also run alongside of it a low voltage system, which is going to be for lighting and charging phones. And one of the things that I like is that I use an iPad for TV, and so that's very efficient use of energy. Okay, here's how I watch TV, and see right up there, it's YouTube TV and all the channels. We have all the standard over-the-air channels. We have all sorts of cable. So everything that you watch at home and pay big money for, I get to watch right here on my iPad, and energy independent. So like I was just saying, I use my iPad for all the my TV and my entertainment. I get all the same channels. What I'm using is a YouTube video or TV, YouTube TV, and so I get all the standard channels that you would get housed, but I get it out here being homeless. And I'm also able to conduct all of my work via the internet, because I'm on a 4G system, The 5G system is not active here because we are within a 2-mile zone of the Oakland airport, and so they will not turn on 5G for the meantime. But I am on the wait list for 5G when it becomes active here, and so we're waiting for that, or our Skylink, as I've already applied for Skylink. I haven't been notified of anything yet, other than they accepted my deposit, and we're on a list. So we'll see what happens with that. But energy efficiency is real important, and for one of the issues here, which is affordable housing, being off-grid, energy independent, saves you hundreds every month, and works out really well for everybody except for PG&E. But with my mayoral campaign, I'm going to be campaigning for solar independence and energy independence for all the residents, and that's going to be also one of the prime objectives inside the tiny home villages, energy independence. And so all of the tiny homes in the tiny home villages in my PATH program are going to be energy independent and solar driven. So what I'm doing here helps with those installations going into the future. Whether you elect me mayor or not, a program that I'm going to be behind is coming to Oakland on a 20-acre plot. And so we know that this is going to work, and this is going to be real interesting. So energy independence, I support solar off-grid, not grid-tied. The grid-tied, there are a lot of caveats with that, and so we have to look at off-grid systems rather than dealing with grid-tied electrical, because as long as you're grid-tied, PG&E has got you. You're going to be subject to all their different fees and the constant cost increases that PG&E is always after. So this gives you the flexibility to have everything that you need, all your energy needs met, and you energy independent. And so typically, if you do an off-grid system, it's a much simpler system when you tie the umbilical or cut the umbilical cord to utilities. And they're monopolies. I don't like monopolies. So you need to really consider off-grid solar electric systems for your homes, because I'm going to be putting them in the tiny homes that are coming to Oakland. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be right back.